Hello, and welcome to episode 212 on the Datapack tutorial series, version 1.2.1.4. We're going to be converting the bear trap from command blocks. What on earth do I mean? Ages ago, we did a bear trap video using only command blocks. Let's show you what it is. We'll have to make one first. So one thing we've done is we've added a recipe for it. So that's one start. And we can throw it on the floor. We can stand in it, and it traps us. Now we can't move. And it has a life, and we have to hit it as many times as it has life. I think it's 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we're free. But when we're free, we do get slowness for a little bit. Okay, let's... also, I believe... I didn't check, but I believe... Let's have a look. We're also glowing. So, if we get trapped, everyone else is going to know where we are. So we're going to have to punch this thing pretty quickly. And then run away. Obviously, I'm in creative, so I broke the floor as well. That's because I'm a vandal. Okay. That's what we're going to do. If I do a reload now, it will not work because I have completely emptied the data pack. We've just got the very basics. We're going to do this a bit differently. I am going to get the commands from the description of the original video. And we're going to try and make it. Now, if you're watching this video, it obviously worked out okay, but I have a feeling that it might be a bit long, and we're going to be jumping around quite a bit, so I'm not sure how useful the timestamps are going to be. So bear with me more than that. I just thought this would be an interesting way to do it, a bit different. So first of all, let's have a look at the commands. I believe I've got them all saved in a notepad. So these are taken from the description from the video. I'll link it in the description. Now, the original one had an escape and reset. I'm just going to do escape and break because, as I say, this could be quite long anyway. So we are going to take all of this and convert it from command blocks into a data pack. I think we can see where we'll start easily with, let's do this setup here. So we've got some scores. Okay, so let's just grab them. In fact, I think I'll cut them. Let's cut them out. Let's go to our data pack. So you see we've got the load and the tick. Everything's empty. The only thing that's happening is these two are running. So let's go into load and let's just paste in what we got there. First thing we're going to have to do is get rid of all these little extensions. There we go. And I'm not going to use a team either. Let's get rid of the team. Let's make this work for anyone. Okay, so to save time, I'm not going to comment this. I'll comment it afterwards before I upload it. So the version you download from Planet Minecraft will be commented. So we're going to add cooldown and trap life. Cool. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm also going to put all these into a settings file. Why not? Let's be good. So let's get function. And we want to give command as well. Let's have a new folder. We'll call it trap. And inside, actually won't even use that yet. I'll put my settings here next to the load and tick. That's a good place. If they always go in the same place, then they'll be easy to find. So let's put our settings here. Settings function must be inside. There we go. So they must be in line with each other. There we go. Right. Now our load function, we'll call that run. I have forgotten how to data pack. Function settings. Okay, so we've set up the scores. Let's go into settings and let's define those scores. There we go. Default. Okay, we have better remember the names as well. Default, trap life. Okay, so that was quick. That was nice and easy. Settings done. Load done. Let's go back and see what's next on the list. The give command. Let's do that. Let's take that give command. X. Let's go back. And inside function, let's add a new folder and we'll call it admin. And in there, we'll add a new file and we'll call it give.mc function. And let's just paste that in. I think that's probably going to work as it is. So we'll save that. Let's go back. Let's do a reload. And let's try that function. Function give. We've got 64 of them. That's to be expected. And it says bear trap. Let's better data grab it anyway. Data get from entity myself selected item because we just want to check that it's got the custom data. Yep. Okay, that's all fine. Yeah, we expected that to work. Okay. Let's go back. What's next? We've done the load, we've done the settings. We need to be able to control when we throw it. Okay, so let's do... We've got 3 controllers. Escape and break. Here. Trap player and throw. I think this makes sense to do them in the order they're in, really. We throw it, then we'll set it up, then we'll trap ourselves, and then after that we'll break out of it. Let's do a little bit of setup. So inside trap, I think I'll have a new file, and I'll call it ticktrap.mc function. Now, one of the problems you find converting things from command blocks to data packs is you get stuck in the mindset of copying what you're looking at. So sometimes you don't do things the most efficiently. Now, hopefully, we'll be all right. So tick is going to call tick trap. So let's do that. Function tick trap. Save. And then tick trap is going to call the other controllers. Now, I could call the controllers directly from tick, but I like this, keeping it tidy. It means everything to do with the trap is all inside tick trap. Maybe I would have other things, and we could keep them separate. So inside tick trap, we want to tick the throw controller. So let's make a file for that, actually. And let's call it controller. Let's keep the names sort of similar. Controller throw.mc function. And I'm going to go back. Where is my... There it is. I'm going to grab everything from inside controller throw. Let's cut that out. Okay. And let's put that into this controller throw. Right, obviously it's going to look messy. Right, what don't we need? Well, we don't need that controller throw there. We don't need the little markers telling us what the command blocks are. Okay, let's see what problems we got. Well, we got a predicate. It's looking for a predicate. I think this is because there's spaces. Yeah, definitely. There's spaces in my notepad. So let's put that into one line. And let's put that onto one line. Okay, so that's cool. It's working. I wonder, actually, if that would just work as it is. Why not? Let's test it. Reload. Let's go over here. Nope. Okay. Let's have a little look. Tick is running tick trap. Tick trap is doing nothing. Well, there we go. That's pretty simple then, isn't it? Let's do throw, and this can just run the function controller throw. Save. One of those nice silly mistakes. It feels silly for doing it, but cool. Okay. That worked. This is just killing everything that's not a player. Right, now let's see. I bet we can improve this. Controller throw. Ooh, right. Execute as items. Trap true at S if predicate. Well, okay, here's one thing we can do. Let's get that predicate and put it into its own file. So let's get a predicate directory. New folder. Predicate. New file is on ground.json. I see I've got a little mistake in my naming conventions. Underline. And let's pop over to misode. I should have misode open because I'm pretty sure we're going to use it. Yeah. Predicates. Entity properties. Entity is this. Predicate is a flag. And is it on the ground? True. Done. Copy. Take that back. Pop that in there. I always like to line them up, so I'm going to move that. There we go. Now we have the is on ground, so we can go to controller throw and we can get rid of this long inline predicate here. And we can just say predicate is on ground and use that one there. Okay. Now, I reckon what we will do is we'll take this first line and we'll put that into tick trap. So execute as any entity if items, contents, grade, we're going to need all of that. And I'm going to move that at S as well, actually. We'll do the predicate check first. And if the predicate passes, then we'll move the execution. And then run function set trap. So we've added a tag set trap. And that's what's in the command blocks. That's what's saying, okay, do these 3 things. But we're using functions. So what we can do is we'll take this X and we'll put it into tick trap. And instead of adding that tag, we will just run the function as that thing. So now we're not adding a tag to it, but this function is running as it. So it's still going to work, but now because the function is running as it, we don't need to execute @s. In fact, we're already doing @. So we can literally just get rid of all of that beginning bit there and just summon that. Again, this scoreboard, execute @, no. We can just do that and kill the item. Well, we're running as the item, so we can just say S. Okay, so that's better. We are doing a target nearest here. We could change that. Let's change that. Let's do, just to add extra stuff really, let's do a setup function. So let's do new file, set up trap.mc function. Okay, and here what we'll do is I'm going to copy both of those. Copy. And I'm going to change this summon command. So actually I'm going to get rid of all of this. And I'm not going to do a summon. I'm going to do an execute summon block display at those coordinates. In fact, remove that. Execute summon block display. Run function. Set up trap. And then let's go to set up trap and put this in here. Okay, well, we don't want to summon another one. We want to do data merge instead. So let's take away that beginning bit. And I believe data merge entity @s. Okay. Nice. So @s is running as the block display we are summoning. So we've summoned it, it's arrived, and it's got no data or information at all. We literally go straight into setup trap as that block display, and we merge in all this data, and we set its score. So we don't need that at n there. That can be in an S as well now. Okay, that looks good. Oh no, I see a problem. Ooh, I see a problem. You cannot data merge an entity onto something. So we are going to have to summon an interaction and then make it ride the block display. Okay, so I'm going to leave passengers there for the moment, just so I can use it as a reference. Let's summon an interaction at those coordinates. And the only thing it's got is a tag, isn't it? So tags bear trap. Okay, so we've summoned it, and now we need to mount it onto the block display. So we'll use ride, and the first thing we do, we'll ride. We can do nearest. We'll do nearest here because we're executing at the location, which is exactly where we've just created that interaction entity. Might as well tag it as well. And we want it to mount at S. Okay, and now we're not going to have a passenger in here anymore. So what we've got, purple. Let's go to the purple one. Done. And save that. It's got a cooldown score of 0. Okay, let's do a bit of testing on that before we go crazy. Let's F3B and turn on hitboxes. Let's throw one of these little dudes down. Okay, looks good. Do you know what I think? I think I'm going to align these. Now, here's a choice for you. You don't have to do this bit. I think I'm going to align these so that it's always in the center of the square or a block, rather than like this one's covering 4 blocks. Right, if you don't want it to be aligned, don't do this next little bit. Well, let's go back. Where would be the best place to do that? I think if we went to tick trap, here we go, at S. After there, we'll do an align to the X and Z. That'll squish it to the corner. And then we'll do positioned 1, 2, 3, and we'll set that. We'll attempt to spell words correctly. Positioned 0.5. 0.5, that should now move it to the center of the square. Okay, let's do a reload. So now they should always, let's try and get it in the center. Yeah, look, now it's always aligning to the center of a block. Okay, let's get rid of that. So far, so good. Is it going to stay being this easy? I think we can get rid of some of these. Let's get rid of all of those. So I'd say throwing it down is working. That definitely seems to be working. What's next? Let's have a look at our notepad. Trap player. Okay, so we want a controller, trap player. Oh, and this one's got conditional command blocks in. Okay. I think we'll start by making a new file, and we'll call it controller, trap player. And I think we'll do what we did last time. Let's grab everything and just chuck it in. As I say, sometimes when converting from command blocks, this is not the best way to do it. Sometimes it is better really just to start again. But, you know, this is an interesting way to do it. I've never done it this way before, so... Okay. Right, let's tidy it up. We don't need that. It would be nice to know which of these are conditional, though. So let's move these conditional ones down a bit. We don't need always repeating because it's in a tick function, so we know that. Well, let's also remove all of those. And now let's split these so they're all on their own lines. Okay. We are removing the innocent team, so we want it to trap anyone, so let's get rid of that team innocent there. If I do Control Shift and L, it will select the other one, and I can press delete, get rid of both of them. Okay. Right, what we're going to do is add to the tick. We're going to use this first line here. So, like last time, we're tagging the player that's trapped. I think we're going to remove that. So let's take this command. Let's X that. And we'll pop off to tick trap. And what was this one? This was trap player. And let's do that. So execute as any entity whose type is a block display, tag is base scores. Yeah, at S as any player whose distance is 0.5. Run tag. No, we don't. Well, we don't want to tag the player. We want to run a function. Run function. Trap player. Okay. So now we're going to come into here. And what have we got? Well, we've got execute as S tag equals trapped. Well, we don't need to do that because we're actually running this as the player. So we can get rid of that. And that's just going to leave us with that attribute. Okay, we do the same here. And that's going to leave us with that attribute. So we're going to make them not be able to move and not be able to jump. Ooh, this one says at S. Let's check our tick trap. This is currently executing at the block display, but as the player. So we'll keep that at S bit. And we'll just do that. There we go. So now they should be teleported to the trap. Let's do debuff TP to trap. Give glowing. Again, we can get rid of this trapped bit. We'll just do at S. Execute as entity type block display. Yes, we need to do that. But do we want to do any entity? Let's have a little think. In fact, what I might do, this is controlling these conditionals. So what I might do is make another function, new file, and we'll call it close trap. Okay, let's go back. So what we want to do is execute as any entity tag is not equal to closed at S. If there is an entity close, yeah, but we're not using this tag anymore, so let's get rid of that. Tag add closed, no. Instead of adding a tag, we will run a function. You can see the theme going on here. Each time we were using a tag to target something, now we're running a function as that thing instead. And we'll say close trap. And let's take these with us. X. And let's put them into close trap. Right, we know they're all conditional, so let's get rid of these. They're effectively conditional anyway now, because they're only running if this passes. So they're not constantly running anymore, which has basically made them conditional. Right, what are we running as? That's always worth. We are running as the block display at the block display if there's any player nearby. Okay, as and at the block display. Execute as block display tag closed. Well, we shouldn't need to do that now because we're executing as it. But I do want to tag it as closed actually, because here we've got a play sound. And if we don't tag it as closed, it's going to go, well, we're playing Anvil, so it's going to go dong, 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 dong. That is going to be awful. So we will actually add that tag. Tag S add closed. We will say you are closed. This can now just be, well, this actually could just be a data merge because we're targeting it. We know it's closed. Yep, this is just a data merge. Scoreboard players operation. Again, this function is running as it, so we can just do S and execute at any entity type equals block display. So again, we could do, oh, in fact, we could just take all of that out there and we can just play the sound. Save. Okay. Feels all right. Now, we do need to be careful here because we are trapping ourselves in a teleport loop. So as long as we can get out. Now, I know we can get out because what we could do is we could just kill the entity, so we don't have to worry. Yeah, okay, we're fine. Our teleport loop is dependent on us being near. Let's control a trap. Teleport to trap. Yeah, so if I removed the trap, I would stop being teleported. Okay, so we can definitely get out. Let's do a reload. And let's throw. In fact, this kills non-players. So let's stay near this so we can just press that button. Okay, let's get in. That's seeming pretty good. And I am basically trapped now. I can't move. I'm in creative, so I can probably fly. Ooh, I can just about break free. Okay. In survival, I wouldn't be able to do that. Can I press this button? Yeah. Right, but I've still got all the attributes and things. Okay, so I'm going to have to... Let's go to the notepad file. Here's one. Here we go. Attribute. Let's use that. Okay, and there was another one, wasn't there? So let's go back in there again and get this one. Copy. Okay. Cool. Now, I didn't actually know I've run those commands, so I can run them again quite quickly from chat. Let's get in this thing, and let's F5. I've got glowing. That's good. That's the only thing I wanted to check, really. Can I reach that? Ooh, just. Okay, and then do 1, 2, 1, 2, and run those commands again. Okay, so it's trapping us. That's nice. That seems to be working. Okay. I think we'll get rid of all of that then. We'll keep tick trap, because what have we got next? We have escape and break. Okay, it's another controller. So let's make a file for that. New file. In fact, we'll call it controller escape and break. You can use better names. I'm literally just naming it as the same thing it was originally called, just so it lines up a bit nicer and makes things clearer. Controller escape and break. Well, we need to run that. Oh, in fact, actually, let's just go to escape and break, and let's just copy everything. And my file is empty. Okay, so that's the last thing we're doing. I think we're quite good on time. Let's go back. Let's put that in there. What do we have? Well, first we have a comment we can get rid of, and the rest is all conditional, unconditional. Okay, let's remove all these tags here. Control Shift L to select them all, get rid of them, and let's remove this one here. The RUA, repeats always active. That's probably going to be the one, like we did for the last 2 times. That will move out into the ticking function, or the tick trap function. I reckon we can get rid of a lot of this. Okay. So, tick trap. What are we going to want to do? We're going to want to execute as any entity as a bear trap at S on attacker and or bear trap score life, bear trap open me. I think then we're going to have to change this slightly. Let's keep that play sound there. We might have to come back and change it, but for now I'm going to keep it. Let's do that. Tick. And what was this? Escape and break. I think that's what we called it. So let's execute as any entity whose type is an interaction. Tag, I mean, we're not using namespaces. That's a bit naughty. You should say Minecraft : interaction. Tag equals bear trap at S on attacker. So now it's running as the person attacked it, but I want it to switch back to the bear trap. So I think we will copy that little bit. Instead of having run on attacker as nearest bear trap. So it's going to find a bear trap. It's going to execute at that bear trap. Then it's going to find that bear trap's attacker. Now, if the bear trap doesn't have an attacker, it's not going to do anything. If it does have an attacker, so it's just been punched, then it's going to switch the execution back to the bear trap. That seems good so far. And we will run function escape and break. Okay. Right, I don't know if you can hear that lawnmower outside. I hope not. Right. They're mowing the golf course. Rather lucky, actually. There's a golf course outside my window. Right. Well, I say lucky. It's not lucky when they're mowing the lawn. Okay, so we're executing as it's. And at it, so the sound is going to go ka-chonk. That's cool. I reckon a lot of this is going to need to be changed. Let's separate some of this out and have a look at what it's actually doing. Well, we need to remove a life from it. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was waiting for the lawnmower to get a bit further away, and now they started cutting the hedges. But we're going to have to continue. Right, so let's look at this and see what we're doing. We've played the sound. We want to take some score off the entity. So, execute as, no, we don't need that because we're running as that. So execute as S. Now there's no point saying as S, so let's just change that to execute. Store success entity, attack player, into 0. That's going to reset it. I don't want on attacker. We don't need on attacker again. We've already done that once. So this time though, I am going to say on vehicle. Now the reason for that is I'm punching the interaction entity and I want the bear trap, the block display, to have the score. And then we'll say, well, we don't think we need at S there either. We don't need to do it at. Run scoreboard, players remove nearest type block display. No, we're already executing on the vehicle, which is the block display. So we can get rid of all of that and just say at S. Execute store success on the entity at S. So that's storing attack player nothing onto the interaction. That's good. That'll reset the interaction. And then we're jumping to the vehicle, which is the block display, and removing one of its scores. Okay, now there's a lot of stuff here. We're going to have to move something out. So let's make a new function. And we'll call it free the player. Okay. What don't we need? I don't think we need any of these tags. These tags are only to target stuff using command blocks. So here we've said call it free me. Well, we can just execute as the nearest player. So let's get rid of anything that's got a tag on it. We don't going to use that. I don't think we're going to use that. We definitely need to kill the entity. Okay, so let's move all of this down. That's stuff we need to deal with, and I think we're going to deal with all of that in our free player, but only if the score of the entity is 0. Okay, so let's do execute, and remember we're the interaction at the moment, and I want the bear trap, so we'll do on vehicle, and we'll check its score. If score at S, we need to say which score, trap life matches 0, then run function free the player. Okay, now we have to move all of this into free player. So I think we'll just grab it all. We'll there we go, copy that, or cut it rather. So we're executing on the vehicles, so we're executing as the block display. So let's go to free player and let's just paste all of this in. Now I think the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to rearrange the order a bit. The first thing I'm doing, I think I'm just going to kill them. So let's do that, put it at the top there. Execute as block display. No, we're already executing as block display, so we can just say execute on passengers. That will kill the interaction. And then we should just be able to say kill S. And that will kill the block display. Okay, so the block display is gone, so there's no point tagging it with open me. Let's get rid of that. There's no point checking for the player. We're already executing at it, so we can get rid of... Actually, I'll comment that out just in case we need to refer to it. I think we just want to reset the player's stats. So as all player tag equals free me, I think I'm just going to change. Now we could do an extra function here, but I'm just going to do sort equals nearest limit equals 1. So what I could do is execute as the nearest player, run a function, and then run these 3 commands. But what I'm just going to do here is that. We might come back. Actually, we might come back and change that because I think it'd be a bit nicer. Instead of doing 3 checks, only having 1. Okay, so let's run through that and see what it's going to do. We're going to execute as any interaction that's being punched as that interaction, escape and break. We will play a sound, so each time we punch it, it will go iron door open, clonk. Then we will store the success as a scale of 0, which means it'll forget that it's been attacked, so it won't keep clonking, and we'll remove 1 life. And then if it gets to 0, we will go to free player, which will kill its passenger, the interaction entity, then it will kill the block display, and then it should reset my 3 stats. And give me, reset the 2 stats and give me slowness. Okay. Fingers crossed. Is this the best way to do things? Sort of live. Let's chuck this down. I'm in. Let's do scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar, trap life. Okay, it says 10. If I punch in, it goes to 9. That's good. Ooh. And 0. Oh, it's good. And I've got slowness. Yes, I have. Oh, okay. That seemed to work. Let's go back. Free player. Let's do a new file just for fun. Why not? Well, just for fun. Player is free MC function. And in here we will copy these 3 commands. Why not? Copy, put them into player is free. This is now going to be running as the player, so we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that, and we'll change that to an S. Save that, go back to free player, get rid of all of this, and just do run function. There. Player is free. Save. And then we can get rid of that, and we can get rid of them. Well, that's certainly a bit smaller. Okay, let's test it. It should work exactly the same. Throw one of them. Okay. Oh, I'm in creative, so I got excited and broke the floor. Oh, we've still got a bit of slowness, and the slowness wears off. Cool, we're done. We have successfully converted it from command blocks into a data pack, and a bit quicker than I thought it would be as well. Now what I would probably do is I would go over it and see if there's anything we could improve. Now, if this data pack is only adding the bear trap, I probably wouldn't have this tick function calling tick trap and then tick trap doing this. I'd probably take all of this out and just put it directly in tick trap. The only reason I've put it in here at the moment is because I like to keep things tidy, and maybe we added a few more things, so we might tick the trap, and we might also have a function that ticks the well of doom. We might have other functions, and this way the main tick file doesn't get too busy. So we could take that out and put it directly into tick. Setup or load, I don't think we can improve load. Well, we're calling another function called settings, and we've only got 2 settings. To be honest, you might as well just move them directly into the load function. Having that settings file is very useful if you're going to have a lot of settings and you don't want to wade through your load function. You can just go straight to your settings file. I reckon some of it might be possible. Is there anything I didn't really like? I think everything's fine. I think it's all right. Yeah, I mean, we're doing an @n here, whereas before we were still using an @n before to set a score for when summoning the trap. So we're still using an @n for the interaction to get it to mount. I mean, maybe it would be a good idea to add something on there, like init, and then have tag equals init, and then remove that tag from it as well. But to be honest, I don't know if that's going to make much difference or if there's any point to it. I think I'm happy. I'm happy that it works. We've converted it all into a data pack. Obviously, if you see any improvements, here's an improvement we could make. Our ID for our item modifier, we've got the ID and we've literally just called the ID 1, which is a rubbish ID to use. Imagine if another data pack had that ID. Maybe I should call it something like ID. That ID is for bear trap move. Let's do a little test on this, and we'll change this one to ID bear trap jump. Save, and now when we free the player, player is free. Here we remove no. Now we haven't set names for them, so this would be move, and this would be jump. Less likely that's going to conflict with something else, because if I call it 1 and then I come along and remove movement speed modifier 1, if another data pack had the ID 1, this is a better ID, I think. Let's try it. Let's give it a go. Yeah. Right, well, I'm definitely not moving. I'm going to switch to survival just so I don't punch the floor. I can move again, but I'm slow. And I'm back to normal. Cool. Okay, I think that's a good thing to do. Having your ID as something so silly as 1 or my ID, not very good. So the more unique it is, the less likely it is going to conflict with another data pack or something. Right, I think we'll end it there before we go too crazy. There we go. We have successfully converted the bear trap from command blocks only into a data pack. That was interesting. It's fun to do it that way. Making it up as we go along kind of thing. Anyway, have a great day. I'll see you soon, and goodbye. Bye.